Okay, in this video, we're going to look at Doughnut Charts. So I've created a new file called doughnut.py, and we're going to import our stuff in just a second, but it's the basic code we've been working with so far. We were going to import a spreadsheet called doughnut.xlsx. We're going to save it as Doughnut2 down here. We're going to do some stuff, and we'll go through this in a second. So first, let's look at this Doughnut spreadsheet. So we have flavors of donuts, right? And chocolate, vanilla, strawberry, blueberry, and raspberry. We have sales data from 2020 and 2021. You can see, I don't know, maybe these are in millions, 50 million, whatever. Sales of donuts in our company. So we're creating a donut chart of donut sales, which is a little weird, but okay. So this is the data we're going to be working with. So let's check out our code here. We're going to use a donut chart, so we need to import that. We also need a couple other things. We need reference, as we've used before, and we need series, which I believe we've used before. So we also need to import something called data point that will handle the points of our data. So we can go from open pyxl.chart.series. We want to import data point. Okay, so as before, we're opening up our donut spreadsheet. We're going to create a donut chart instance here. And now we need to set our labels in our data, just like always. So we have minimum column 1, min row 2, max row 6. So from row 2 to 6, and if we look back at our data again, we see that's from here to here. So we're going to leave off our top things there. And then for the actual data, we've got minimum column 2, and then rows 1 through 6. So column 2, 1 through 6, we're pulling all of this data. So normal stuff we've been doing for all of our other charts, defining our data and our labels. Just like before, we want to add our data as data, titles from data equals true. We want to set our categories with these labels, just like we've always done. And we can set a chart title of, let's say, donuts sold by category, and then, or donuts sold by flavor, maybe. And we can set a chart style. So I'm going to comment this out. Again, you can play around with these numbers to do all kinds of different things with them. So, okay, all of this is sort of boilerplate, what we've done with all of our other graphs and charts so far. Here's where it gets a little bit different. First, we need to cut out a slice of our data. So a donut chart is basically a pie chart with a section sort of cut out of it, just for graphical, coolness, I guess. And so we could do that. So let's define our slices. So let's go slices equal. And then we want to call that data point thing that we imported up here, right? And then we want to pass an IDX equals I. Now we need to define a loop. So let's go for I in range of 5. So why 5? Well, because if we look back at our data, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different flavors that we need to loop through, right? So, okay, now we need to define our slices. Now let's comment this. And so we've got chocolate, we've got vanilla, we've got strawberry, we've got blueberry, and we've got raspberry. And we want to set those equal to slices, which we've defined up here. So basically, we're saying, hey, these are the things we want to loop through in this loop and make data points out of each of these things. So here, we need to chart a series of those things. So we can go chart, which is the name of our chart thing up here, right? Chart.series, and we want to pass in the 0th item, and we want to call data points and set that equal to slices. So strictly speaking, this will do it. And if we run this, this is not going to be as interesting, but if we save this and run it, and then open up our Doughnut2 file, we get this sort of pie chart looking thing, and it's got a thing in the middle that sort of sets it apart from a pie chart a little bit, but there's nothing there's no wedge that's been pulled out of here to make it look cool. So we can do that real quick by just calling whichever one of these we want to explode out. So let's go explode wedge, and let's call chocolate dot explosion and set that equal to 10. And this is a distance. How far out do we want to pull our little wedge? So if we save this and run it, and then open up Doughnut 2, we see now this wedge has sort of been pulled away, and that's cool. We can make it go further by changing the distance right here. We could change that to 20. We could add, again, chart style. Let's add this chart style 26 in here. Now if we save this and run it, and open this guy, we see, okay, now we've got sort of some style. This has been pulled out a little bit more, 20 instead of 10. We've got some like shadows going on here, and it looks kind of cool. And again, you can play around with those numbers to find one that you like. But basically, that's a Doughnut chart. So that's all for this video. In the next video, we'll look at surface charts.